Dota. All right, here we are. Game 2, Complexity versus DC. First match going to call. DC playing for survival in the tournament. They need a win here to extend this series and even have a chance at seeing the next stage of the lower bracket. Joined again here by Annie, Suns fan, Breaky, CPK, Purge, and Mott on the horn as well. It's the full crew, the full shift. Suns fan just exclaiming his love for the Phoenix Treant combo. Breaky, what are you hoping to see here coming into game 2? 79 heroes left. Give us a bold prediction, my man.
Bold prediction, huh?
Hey, you know Complexity better than like most of us combined, so.
I mean, yeah, from another game. Let's see. Enigma. I'm going to pick Enigma here.
Okay. You know, I was saying
Enigma.
yesterday, that's the hero that I really wanted to see. And of all the teams to pick it, I think Complexity is actually pretty high on the list.
Yeah, he's been banned once, right?
I think it was banned against Escape once in that game. It was either game 2 or game 3 yesterday. But first pick Kunkka, very standard, pretty safe.
Timbersaw is still there, by the way. So weird.
I don't think he's as broken as you think he is.
I do think he's broken.
Well, you do think?
I agree with myself. Yes. And then we're going to see it. I think it's super broke. I think this is a resolution Timbersaw, by the way. Pretty sure.
I'm in for that. The only problem,
I think Moon plays it, obviously, so it could still be off.
The only problem with Resolution Timbersaw is that he can farm so well that you hit this point where your Timbersaw is capped out at like 40 minutes, and then
you win the game because you have Timbersaw.
Well, you have to win the game there. If you don't, it gets tricky because I mean, he's not going to eat a moon shard.
you don't like when you pick Timbersaw as a 1, you want a mid that scales as well.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to pick like Timbersaw's not your latest game.
Oh,
hero
absolutely. Yeah, that's the only drawback though. Early
But
Coddle?
It still could be Moon playing it.
Open-ended. Early Coddle. We have seen a little bit of Coddle, actually.
I think Cole actually picked Kunkka because they figured that DC would not pick Timbersaw. I think Kunkka's pretty good against Timber.
Yeah.
So who's the Moo hero? Who else does Moo play these days?
Beastmaster.
Do they do support clock?
Breaky, have you seen this?
I have not seen Clockwork from them.
Oh, okay, just in general. So
what,
right now,
what other off lanes are there that they could have picked if this is an off lane? Because that might, indicate that it is a support.
Legion Commander, Tide Hunter.
All right, Tide. Yeah, Tide's way better than Clock. Okay, so I'm gonna say this is probably. Well, then again, it could be. So you say Kunkka is usually core, right, Breaky, with cancel?
It's not usually. I mean, Z-Freak definitely plays a bit too, but they have the possibility of.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Z-Freak playing support clock actually.
It could fit his
does
style.
all the weird heroes.
He's very active. Escape is the team that's been doing it a lot, Breaky. Yapsor has been doing this position 4 clockwork thing where he just kind of seemingly runs around and then, will pop battery salt, wrap behind people, and it sounds silly, but it's been oddly effective. Trent and I casted a number of their games in the European qualifier. So it's like kind of the new hot thing. I'd be curious to see Complexity try it here. It's really good against like somebody like Coddle, for example. If a level 3 Clockwork is fighting a level 3 Coddle and there's no creeps around, he's just dead. Like you can't get away from the battery assault. You can't TP home. It's pretty brutal. I mean, Mana Leak is good, but
Get a Bloodseeker to go with the Coddle.
A Bloodseeker.
I would like it.
I would be shocked. I mean, normally I would say that, but since I know my team decently well, I would be shocked.
I think Warlock,
possible.
the other big hero in here that.
Yeah, man, Warlock's been given not so much love for how much he's picked in the regular competitive scene.
The Complexity especially plays him a lot.
Well, Purge was talking about it yesterday that teams just like a certain composition with the Warlock, and you don't have all the heroes obviously to choose from.
Yeah,
so that might have something to do with it.
He's particularly composition based. Also, Omni Knight's still in. Common face.
Unfortunately.
In the NA scene.
Rubik as well. Rubik's been given a lot of love in this tournament, but he's still sitting there, unpicked, unbanned.
Have we seen a core Rubik yet? We've seen a lot of supports. I know we've all been hoping for a core Rubik.
Is that a thing?
Sure.
Miracles played at mid.
Yeah, Miracles played at mid. Good call him out. Hey, there we go. There's Rubik.
All right. I'm on a roll, man.
Does your team do core Rubik, Shannon?
You never know. I know Weeha likes the hero. But then again, like I think all mid heroes or mid players love Rubik in general.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it's very skill based.
Oh, yeah. You mean it just kind of fits their general mentality?
Yeah.
You could do a lot of flashy things with that hero, like a ton of stuff.
I'd still be surprised though, but you never know.
Okay, good support cast.
I feel like Pugna is really good, and we don't see that.
I agree. I think Pugna's great.
Breaky, you are preaching to the choir, my man. We've
Ugh.
talked about Pugna every goddamn day for the last 3 days, and no one has touched him, even thought about him.
Ooh, Crystal Maiden.
CM. All right. Well, good heroes for the mana aura. Either a core or roaming Kunkka benefits a lot from extra mana regen. Clockwork, same deal. Opens up a lot of possibilities for him. Good position 4 that can spend some time in the jungle, soaking up some farm. I like it.
Yo, give me a Sven for complexity.
Yeah. Big beefy carry.
Yeah, he's big beefy. He benefits a lot from that aura. He can throw out a couple of Storm Hammers before running out, and they lane together pretty well.
I like the Skywrath ban here from DC. I was going to suggest that could be a potential pick for complexity. Good synergy with the Clockwork. What else combos nicely with the Crystal Maiden here?
Techies.
Techies.
It's not bad, dude, the mana.
You monster. That's actually true. Arc Warden. He could use the mana.
Ugh, get him out of here.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not banned by anybody. But then again, DC probably saw. Well, both teams have picked Arc Warden, right? And both have lost.
I think so. Yeah. These were the
Cole
two.
picked it, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was in the 2 NA series that it was first picked in
Yeah.
game 1 of both series. Both by the losers.
Aw.
Can't be a coincidence. No way. This is
Another
a
hero.
weird...
I don't think it's gonna get picked this game at all. It doesn't make sense anymore. But just surprised we haven't seen Huskar once.
We did see him banned at least once or twice when Oracle was still available, but not picked for sure.
Yeah, I mean when all the saves are. I mean they're still dazzle, but it doesn't make like Timbersaw destroys him, and then it doesn't make sense for DC as a wow. That's surprising.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Not have seen that coming. So pretty cool with Coddle. You know, the recalls and stuff. Tiny's a great split pusher, especially in the mid game. Great combo.
I actually
with
have no
Coddle,
idea
too.
what position this is.
I'm assuming it's a core Tiny. I think it combos really nicely with Coddle.
Oh no, it's gonna be core. I don't know if it's mid or the one.
Oh, I see. Well, instant
no
Tinker
idea.
from Complexity back the other way. Another hero, of course, that benefits very much so from the Crystal Maiden. So what are we looking at here, gang? Final picks, final bans. DC needs a core, presumably. And they have a lot of flexibility, so they could really pick up anything here.
I feel like Kunkka's gonna have a free game.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to pick up BKB on DC's line
Saying
right now.
Quap for complexity.
I was thinking Quap for DC. I was just about to say that because they got, you know, the Blink would be fantastic for getting out of the Clockwork cogs. You can make sure you're not nearby Tinker. You can dump out a ton of damage.
How would they lane it, Breaky? Like, safe
The
lane
short
Quap?
lane. Yeah, safe lane Quap.
Interesting. That
Kinda
would be
fits
wild.
their style, too.
I think it's pretty good with Clockwork. I mean, Quap can scale okay. She can get some attack speed items, you like AC and stuff, and I mean, she can hold tempo, but it definitely puts you on kind of a timer.
You know who's great?
Are you going to say
Guess.
Centaur?
Yeah.
Safe
Absolutely.
lane Centaur. I don't know if they'll play that.
Like right now, their one catch is unless people get blink daggers, essentially Tiny, who will get a blink dagger fast. But like Rubik could potentially get it. Timbersaw, kind of. But then there's X to worry about. Nobody wants to pick up BKB.
I think they want a Silver Edge carrier here eventually against Timbersaw.
Bloodseeker.
That's really how you shut him
Well,
down.
isn't that Kunkka?
Kunkka? Well, if he's a core.
Pretty sure he's core this game.
I'm thinking he's support. I've been assuming they're going to pick a position 1.
Yeah, that's
I think
what-
this is going to be off lane here. I mean, they could just go Tide easily.
then,
Yeah.
Then Clockwork goes.
Or Axe.
There's a lot of flexibility in this draft, no doubt.
Axe gets... The problem is Timbersaw, if they match him up against the off-lane strength, if it's a strength here, they just get dumped on pretty hard.
Yeah, it's rough. Venomancer.
How does... I saw a thread about the cogs on Clockwork not like working properly. Does it work with Timber Chain? Anybody know?
Ooh, Shadow Fiend.
There's
I
those
saw a
cogs
GIF
to nine.
recently where you can chain over the cogs.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So Clockwork almost certainly support, I think.
Offlane?
I think it's safe lane Tinker, mid Shadow Fiend, off lane Clockwork. but I'm really not sure. This is a strange,
They
kind of a
just-
strange setup.
They picked too many mids.
I mean, safe lane Shadow Fiend, is that a
I'm
thing?
thinking it's gonna be Crystal Maid and Shadow Fiend was pretty old school early on as a.
Your mic's cutting out.
Yeah,
by
you're
the way.
breaking up.
Breaking.
And Sven, final pick for DC. All right, well, DC definitely have some bruisers here. My God.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yep.
So I was saying Shadow Fiend Crystal Maiden was actually a pretty old school Han lane in the early days. So I'm kind of wondering if they're going to go that route.
CM
On
Shadow
boys.
Fiend dual lane mid. So that would be like a
Dual
solo.
mid or dual safe?
No, dual mid. So it'd be like a safe lane Tinker with a stacking, jungling, roaming Kunkka. Hey, man, you never know. It's a funky draft. Again, I like this DC draft a little better. I mean, they're somewhat item reliant, but they should have enough space to get, the first round of core items on Sven plus a Blink Dagger. Tiny will get a Blink Dagger. Timbersaw, he's moving around. He'll eventually get a Blink. Like, they've just got some insane burst initiation. I'm a little scared. Like, I feel like Tinker and Shadow Fiend could get picked on in that mid game once the big stuns come out. Suns fan, are you confident in DC's ability to not be eliminated?
I have no idea what to expect. I think I agree. I like the lineup more for DC, but
It's
they're not,
pretty cool.
They did not play in the 3 games we've seen so far. They have not played well.
So, do you still think it's Resolution Timbersaw?
No, definitely Moon,
Yep.
and I assume Tiny mid.
Okay, so like Weehaw Tiny, so Coddle
I
Tiny.
know everybody in general, like core players, love playing Tiny. Everybody's like, it's the same thing with like Pudge. You're like, oh, I play the best Pudge. Well, supports say that too about Pudge, and then they end up being horrible.
Doesn't
but
everybody
that's
say
another
that?
story. Yeah,
Isn't that kind of how it works?
they always beg the captain to pick them Pudge, or some obscure hero, or Tiny. It's not super obscure, but I'm excited to see Tiny again. I think that hero's kind of fallen off, and
Yeah.
I
think
don't
it's
like
really
the fact that he was kind of coupled with Io. That was like the only combo for a while.
Well, if they dual lane with Coddle, dude, that is nasty. You
Yeah,
can
dude.
harass so hard.
I think every combo with Coddle right now is good. Timbersaw double chain. Ben gets a lower stun. Tiny. It's not quite a double toss, but very low cooldown. Pretty sick.
All right, so we're all loading in here.
Final round of predictions. Breaky, what do you think? Going to game 3, or is this it?
Complexity 2-0. They're going to win by 30 minutes.
Damn,
Oh
all
my.
right. Annie, what you got?
I'm with Breaky, man. I'm liking Complexity. They look really strong today.
Fucking Complexity fan straights. Everywhere, man.
Ah.
Everywhere. All right,
They
well, we're
agree.
split. DC, Shannon, I'm assuming you think DC is going to take this. Come on, man.
I'd rather not predict.
Oh, Jesus, man.
All right, fair enough.
Savage.
With that said, we have our proper casting duo here for this game, Mott and Purge, to take it away.
Thank you very much, guys. We're going to jump into game number 2 between Complexity and DC and get things underway here for Elimination Mode. Just our one series for the day, and it might be over here with game number 2. Everyone seemed pretty confident with their bets on Complexity, but Purge, how do you feel about this particular matchup in the draft?
Well, I think Complexity is definitely playing better than DC is lately, and especially today. But I actually like the DC draft a lot better than the Cole one for a couple reasons. Mainly, they've got 2 support counters to Clockwork between Rubik as well as Keep of the Light. Timbersaw's decent against it as well. And also they have Tiny, who's very good at bursting lower HP heroes, so I'm looking at Crystal Maiden, maybe even Kunkka, and at some point Tinker too. So if the Tiny has a pretty good game, I feel like he could kind of just roll over Complexity's lineup. And their supports are maybe a bit weak early. They're kind of bad on damage early, but as long as they stabilize a little bit and get the Tiny off to a good start, then I think he can really accelerate and give Sven a really easy game afterwards.
Yeah, we'll see how DC does, especially with his Tiny. Justin has denied 11 cogs. He now has 11 stacks of Necromastery, granting him an additional 22 bonus damage to give him 62 damage at the start of this game, which is
That's
pretty
OP,
absurd
man.
when you think about it.
Yeah, no kidding. 11 bonus damage. He's now hitting for 62 damage base.
Yep.
And he can still get a whole 7 more souls with level 1 Necromastery. It's incredible.
It's kind of nuts when you think about it. He's going top too, so this is
Weird.
not a matchup mid that he's worried about. He's not worried about getting denied by a Tiny, who has pretty good base damage overall. Instead, he's just going to be denying, I think, Moon's farm pretty consistently up here.
Yeah, I actually really like this this lane setup. The Clockwork interaction was amazing. Good, very smart idea. Clock is going to buy or get cogs anyways, and this guarantees that his creep wave is more towards his side. This is really smart laning from Cole, and Justin's SF is very widely known as one of his best heroes as well, so can't wait to see what he does with it.
And this is what Ricky was talking about. It's not CM here early on because she's jungling, but this is going to be a safe lane Shadow Fiend, which is interesting. But how do you like the laning setup overall for both of these teams?
I like it quite a bit for Cole. CM's obviously going to jungle, get a fast level 2, and then with that level 2, he should be able to give some much needed mana to all of his cores. Everybody needs it in this game. The only person that might not use much mana early is maybe Shadow Fiend, just because he doesn't want to push the creep waves too much. But they can easily, like once Shadow Fiend hits 3, for example, Moon Meander's got to be really careful, because with X Torrent in a double raise or even a triple raise, he could easily get killed. So this lane setup for Cole is fantastic, I think.
Yeah, they're getting off to a pretty quick start. Mood did take some damage down bottom. He was able to actually get the cogs off and burn a lot of Resolution's mana, so he might have to use that mango if he wants to make another go onto Moo in the off lane.
They've got Keeper of the Light as well, so that's maybe one really good thing about DC's lineup. Like I said, they've got 2 support counters against Clockwork.
Right.
They also do need to make sure that they get some pulls going. That would be ideal.
Moo getting harassed. Sox was looking for a lift potentially. Hasn't skilled it up yet, but I imagine he's going to go for that telekinesis at level 1. And right now it's just tri-lane in each of your safe lanes at this point. One for Sven, one for Shadow Fiend. And then, of course, there's the mid matchup, which we haven't talked about yet, which is Cancel versus Weehaw, which currently Cancel's got about a 2 CS advantage in terms of actual last hits.
Yeah, it's not unexpected at all there, and Cancel is just breaking the cell for Tiny. Really nicely done. It's a bad matchup for Tiny just because ranged advantage on the Tinker, and of course the laser is going to make it even harder for him to last hit. So until he gets bottle, he's going to have a little bit of difficulty here getting full farm.
Yeah, the haste rune for the Rubik. I don't know if they want to make it go. Cancel is not at full HP. He has a salve. There is somebody nearby. That is, of course, the Kunkka. The lift will come through. He's got laser. There's the avalanche going already. Toss. It's not there. It's going to be used on a creep. Cancel will barely survive as Z-Freak gets off a great torrent and keeps Cancel up and ready to go.
DC really wanted that kill there. That would have done so much for them. Bottle would have been finished. He would have been on his way towards finishing boots as well. Everything that Tiny needs to accelerate. But instead, great torrent from Z-Freak. Good for him to rotate over as well, just because there is that dangerous territory where Tiny with 2 to 3 points and nukes can kill Tinker with a little help.
Yeah, and he was very close. He did use the avalanche, didn't quite get it off onto the Tinker, but still very close there. They will have the Rubik rotate back down to the bottom lane. He has a Windlace. They can maybe make it go on Moo here if they want to. Moo now sitting at level 2 with how many last hits does he have? 4 going his way. He is behind in experience of that of the Timber Saw, but still he's going to try to leech experience here in the tree line. They know where he is now. That's interesting.
You can always TP out if things get really bad. I mean, they would still have to get vision with the Sven and then stun him afterwards, so that was kind of a smart idea. I think he was just being really safe here. He thought they were going to look for him, but really was just last hitting.
Yeah, he got some extra experience there that he might not have gathered.
Yeah, it's worth 50 gold. I mean, if he dies, it's bad because then he can't get back to the lane as rapidly, but I mean, they're connecting pulls now, so the experience gain for Rubik as well as Caudle should be a bit better.
Mana leak, stun's going to go. They have the Stormhammer ready if they want to use it. I don't know if they can get this kill. Rubik should be in position for a lift, and he will be. Moo is in a lot of trouble.
Close.
They have no more Stormhammer. He's going to use his Fairy Fire. Illuminate might get the kill, and it will. Misery gets first blood underneath the Tier 1 tower, very close to escaping. They had to put a lot of emphasis on getting that kill, but they do at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, Caudle's just such a great laner, really. Even with the increased mana cost of Mana Leak, just guaranteeing a 1.5 second stun. They have 2 movement abilities here, so they can guarantee more mana drain. And just every Illuminate, 1 skill point for 200 magic damage. That's amazing value, especially when you have extra magic with Chakra. You can cast it twice in a fight and easily get a kill.
Oh my, Timbersaw doesn't have any last hits purge. Like, that's how much this has done for him.
It's actually a really cool dual lane. The bonus damage on Shadow Fiend kind of changed everything. If he was hitting for 40 at the start, then yeah, maybe Timbersaw can bully these two, but with that much right click right off the bat, it becomes difficult. So they can just stack the side camp as many times as they want, even with the magic resistance auras. Shadow Fiend's going to be able to clear these. Now, the one big thing that I haven't really brought up for Shadow Fiend is that when you're playing safe lane, you usually get much less experience than in the mid lane. So he will be hitting level 7, level 5 a little bit slower, and that's really where Shadow Fiend accelerates heavily. But with that said, Z-Freak left the lane pretty early, and Crystal Mane as well is very independent in the jungle, so he should be able to catch up.
I mean, and he is going to catch up because he has these stacks, which is what Z-Freak has been doing. He's stacking up these camps when he's out of the lane, for example.
Yeah, there's a huge stack over in the large camp. That's like a 4 stack there.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't kill a Crystal Maiden can, or if they're having trouble with some of the magic resistance creeps, Crystal Maiden can pull those out and kill him
They have
with
March as
Frostbite.
well if they need it.
That's great. Yeah. There's actually not too many heroes that want stacks, if anything, on their team.
Yeah, they're in a great position. Although there's still some really good farm going the way of the Sven, or at least getting the assist on the first blood. Actually, Weehaw in the mid lane is doing okay. 16 last hits. Didn't get the kill. He is starting to get a fair bit behind against this Tinker, though. But like you said, to be expected, I think, at this point.
Yep. The infused raindrop on Tinker will help a lot, though, just because of the fact that that's a lot of tiny tosses that he can break. But Tiny can also break those super simply. Just Chakra Magic, throw creeps on Tinker. Eventually, he'll run out. So they could maybe get a kill. I actually did this dual lane recently. Tiny Keeper of the Light. Well, it wasn't really dual lane. It was more like I was roaming, but it actually works really well. Offensively, just between mana leak, you can toss him to drain his mana. There's lots of cool stuff like that. Only one raindrop left, and he just bought this thing. Like, goodbye mana.
Is he figuring another one out? I don't think so. He's got a salve and a windlace instead.
There's just no way it's worth it. It's going to be gone instantly. It does block 5 tosses.
Moonmander Torrent. He has the Timber Chain. He'll get at the high ground, but not quickly enough. Swindles brings him down with the Crystal Nova. Man, they've been meets many of them. And they will actually get the kill, though, with the Sven by Resolution, getting the kill on Moo down bottom. Looks like he just went with the God Strength and Stormhammer. Probably used Delif, I believe, from the Rubik and the Fade Bolts as well,
Yeah.
so yeah.
It's a hard game for Clockwork, that's for sure. And that's kind of been the case both times that Clock's been drafted so far in elimination mode here. Every single game that's against, like, Rubik and the Cuddle.
Ooh, mid lane, cancel low. Weehaw about to go down to the tower. Will he? The last hit, and he will fall the toss. Not near cancel. He gets behind the tower. He actually brings him down. It was so close. That
And now
combination.
Weehaw's extremely far behind. He's only level 5 and the Tinker's 7. So it's just every single level, and he picks up another raindrop. He just knows that even if it costs him about 500 gold to buy multiple raindrops here, it just guarantees that Tiny's windows for killing him are longer and longer and longer. Because yeah, you can toss 5 times to break the raindrop, but that's still 5 times the toss cooldown, plus the mana you need to get to that, just to attempt to kill on Tinker. And it's just guaranteeing that he wins the lane.
It's pretty much, without help, it's going to be impossible to bring him down solo. I mean, there's just no way.
At least not with levels. He's going to do some aggressive things on Justin, but
Yeah.
I don't know if Moonmeander wasn't paying attention
He has
or...
no toss for 2 seconds. This still might be a kill, actually. Justin's pretty fast, but I don't know if he's fast enough.
He's
Weehaw,
slower.
ooh, he wanted it. He will not go for it, however. Z-Freak rotates in. Weehaw's going to walk back around. Justin's going to stay far enough away and close to the tower that he might be able to stay alive. In fact, will. Meanwhile, in the gank mid lane, there's going to be the Fade Bolt. Saxa, Telekinesis is going to come through. There's the Crystal Nova. The Frostbite should come next, but he gets a nice stun off with the Telekinesis, but the laser is still there. Cancel gets purged up by the creep. Not going to help, though. Illuminate not in time. Cancel finds himself another kill.
This whole game would have been so different if we had just had a slightly better laning stage. Like, the fact that he didn't kill Shadow Fiend, it's because he wasn't 6. If he was 6, he would have had an extra 40 movement speed from Grow. Then he definitely gaps closes the Shadow Fiend, and he definitely gets the kill.
Is he going to live? Timber Chain, Chakram should get the kill, and it will. Moonmeander solos Justin top lane as they finally give some room to the Moonmeander Timber Saw.
Alright, that's going to change a lot. Finally, DC gets on the board with the Shadow Fiend kill. He's still pressurable like that, especially until he gets something like a Shadow Blade or just enough raw HP to win a fight. Or maybe even finally gets the skills ultimate. Looks like he's actually going the mech build on SF.
Yep.
A little old school, but not that old school really. But it's definitely more of an outdated build ever since Shadow Fiend went out of the meta.
Now Cancel will take these stacks. With the help of Z-Freak's Torrent, this will take a bit of time, a couple of marches potentially. As you can see, not quite the damage it used to be. And magic resistance obviously coming out for some of these creeps as well.
Moonmeander's still trying to lane decently here. It's going alright, but Shadow Fiend can just push the lane out. Misery's got good levels. How's the other supports doing? Rubik just barely hitting 5, but he's got his own lane now. Looks like Resolution is mixing between farming jungle camps and giving Rubik experience, much needed. And the other person that was really under level before is Z-Freak, and he's still there, just barely about to hit level 5. So
Gives his teammate the good old X, and now they can continue to farm these jungle stacks if they want to. His Cancel will be right back in a moment. You're right, Z-Freak is a bit low in terms of his experience. He obviously was rotating around, roaming, stacking up camps, so it's not super unexpected that he's level 4, but he should be able to find a way back in with some of these camps, or maybe a kill or two.
yeah. Looks like Weehaw gonna maybe group with Resolution. At least he roamed to the bot lane. Thought maybe they'd go for a smoke toss combo, but Tiny's got to start getting some kills, because he's not going to win this game by getting a little behind. That's really the boomer bust playstyle of Tiny. If you get some solo kills, everything kind of changes.
Good news is that they have Resolution to fall back on. Moo scouts at Resolution with the Observer Ward. Resolution not really turning his attention towards Moo. Cancel pops in Visrune. He wants to go and find, I think, Resolution, I would imagine. Moo does have his level 6, so Hookshot is available. Let's see what they decide to go for here. And they're going to make their way over, and looks like Resolution, he's going to go to the camp. No ward
Kill
placed
Tiny,
down.
I think.
Are they going to back up? They might just go for Weeha instead.
They definitely rather kill Sven, for sure. I mean, getting a Tiny kill is definitely better than nothing, but... Is the vision? Will they get the hook shot? No, he's not there anymore.
They sort of, yeah, they just backed up. I think they're too afraid. There's really no vision over here in terms of the entrance to the jungle. They just thought that DC somehow knew with Weeha's positioning.
They've been missing off the map for a little bit too long, so... Soxa did a great job dewarding the Ancient camp a couple minutes ago, and now it's led to a giant Ancient stack for Resolution.
Wow, that is
just
huge.
a very, very smart support play. And also, they're protecting Resolution by smoking as he approaches this, which is really wise. Because now if a fight does happen, although they kind of missed their window now.
You know, they're going to find Justin, it looks like. He's got mech. Meanwhile, they will find Resolution on the other side. They actually get the cogs off, and they're going to bring him down. It's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange. Justin for Resolution. I feel like the kill for Complexity's a bit bigger, but that's still a big kill for both sides.
Yeah, it kind of depends, actually. If Cole's able to take the mid tower, it's obviously amazing for them, but against a Coddle, it's difficult.
Yeah, it's not going to be
Whereas
easy.
DC's getting more damage into the tower top.
Yeah,
I think that was pretty good.
Inevitably might fall. They'll throw out some a rocket flare, but Complexity at this point is just kind of wandering around towards this mid lane, making a decision. Do we want to move up here to defend this, or are we going to try to push? Drop a ward down. Swindles does so. He does drop a ward. That does block this camp.
Yeah, the typical tree block one. They'll be able to get it, though. They've got a sentry on the high ground.
Easy freak. Telekinesis back. He's in trouble. No ghost ship. The Torrent will get off in time, but now they're starting to run over these heroes. Moves in trouble. He doesn't have hook shot for 15. Another TP coming through. That's going to be Justin back into the fray. They also see Swindles. He might get it dropped down here. The X marks will come out, which was stolen by the Rubik. Torrent's not there, but the toss is. The Chakram should be enough, and Resolution's rotated up as well. It takes a couple hits to bring down that Crystal Maiden, but they will inevitably get the kill. Meanwhile, like they will have Tinker TPing in. Now they will get another kill. Moo gets dropped almost instantly. Too much damage for Complexity to deal with. Justin's in the tree line, and all of a sudden you lose all of these heroes for Complexity, and it just gets disastrously bad. They even lose the tier 1 tower as well. DC come out of nowhere and get some huge kills.
Yeah, it was really well done. Are they finding? Did Sox actually find him?
He just found Justin. Telekinesis, Requiem's not going to be there in time. They should have enough disables here to stop this Requiem from happening. Avalanche is gone. Toss should be ready to go as well. He's going to try to get it off the Stormhammer. They throw everything at him. He dies yet again. And Justin's second death in about a minute and a half's time span. That's, again, a huge kill going the way of DC.
Just amazing that Soxa had the presence of mind to even check for that, and they get a Shadow Fiend kill because of it. Just incredible. And Cole hasn't really been able to take anything else in advantage here. They're going to break smoke immediately on cancel.
He's going to fall, it looks like, potentially. Although he does get the solo kill onto Misery.
Okay.
He might just TP out. They don't have another disable here. There's not enough people in the vicinity. It's just the Sven. That's lol indeed.
Yeah, that one was pretty funny death. He really wasn't expecting to see Tinker there, I don't think. I don't know. I guess he was expecting to see him over by the two camps, maybe, but they even had a ward there. I don't know, that was very bizarre that he just choked. He must have been looking somewhere else in the meantime.
Yeah, that was awkward. It's just the shock and terror on the Keeper of the Light's face. Oh my god. By the way, there is a pretty severe advantage for DC right now. I mean, it's 5,000 or so, but that seems pretty big at this point for Complexity to overcome. I guess they do have the Tinker, who's doing rather well for himself, but how do they deal with this Sven now that he's up to 8k net worth?
Well, Cole needs to get some ganks going. That's basically the reason that DC's been winning the last few minutes. They cleared that Ancient stack. Resolution got killed afterwards, but they killed Justin top, and then every skirmish after that was all Cole heroes dying. Swindles got picked off, and then there was that big engagement top with the Shadow Fiend kill at the end of that. So it's mostly kills, actually. I mean, they're obviously farming very well also, but Cole's got to use their heroes to translate that into kills, and they can do it. They've got Kunkka at 6, they have a Crystal Maiden, Clockwork. Those are all great heroes for fighting, but we haven't seen many fights happen.
It feels like
At
they've
least
been
not
the
where
ones
Cole
on the
had good
back
show
foot.
force.
They've been the ones that
Easily.
have been getting initiated on, for the most part.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And again, they don't have the best Like Clockwork this is not a good game for him, but he's got to get some kills going somewhere. Maybe combo himself with other cores, at least that way if you like cog somebody in, then the CM ulti's nearby. There's lots of things like that you can maybe do.
DC playing kind of passively when it comes to their jungle and their tier 2 tower. They've spotted out where Misery has gone. They know that he's over in that area, and well, the Clockwork's gonna find him, and it looks like Misery's probably dead. Although Weeha's coming in the Avalanche. Nice blinding light from Misery, but the hook shot back in. Ghost Ship will come through. Resolution blinks in. He's got his God Strength still. He already used that Blink Dagger, now on cooldown. Moo just standing there for the time being. Ghost Ship's still there. There's the Frostbite coming in. We'll use that Stormhammer. Look at the March of the Machine's going to work, though. Moon has to back out as well. And Tinker is just covering this battle that they cannot get into at this point with March consistently.
Yeah, they're doing this perfectly now with the March spam and the Moo played that great as well. He walks into the Coddle, that way when he gets blinded lighted out, he can still hookshot back in. That's kind of how he has to play this whole game. I'd really like it actually after he goes Blade Mail, maybe for him to go Force Staff. That way even if he does get removed from a fight, oh, we in trouble.
Yeah, got caught by the X. Moo. There's the cogs tossed back. They'll do some damage, but not before they get that kill onto Weeha's Tiny. They'll take the kill as well as the tier 2 tower. Nicely done.
Really good fight there for Cole. 2 kills, especially the Tiny kill. Tiny even had Blink Dagger there. I think he was trying to look for a one-shot, but just didn't get any opportunity, I guess. But I don't see why he needed to die there. I think that was super sloppy play from him.
It was a bit of an awkward fight, really. Moon came in there for a bit, and like he just took the march to the face. He got to like maybe 20% HP, and then he had to back out. Like he clearly was trying to position himself in a way that he would push them back from the tier 2 tower, but looks like they just took too much damage from that March of the Machines, among other things from Complexity. I feel like this Tinker is a big key to Complexity's success here. Hold that thought. There's going to be an Avalanche mid. They will find Swindle's not dead yet, still alive. They should have mech here. It's actually in 20 seconds. Here we go. Ghost Ship, X marks as well. They'll find the Tiny again. In trouble. Hookshot as well for Moo to make sure he stays in the place. But they actually get the toss out. We might stay alive. The Requiem will go. Resolution comes in. Already bringing down Swindle's. Moon's here as well. Get off a couple of raises, and now Complexity might need to back away. X marks Torrent will go, won't do much damage to Moon, but the March will. Another heat-seeking missiles flying out, some nice damage to go, but that's it. The end of the engagement.
The Raindrop kept CM alive for so long there. It did take a lot of resources from DC, so considering what happened, I don't think it was too bad. Oh, they're going to go on Weehaw, though. He came forward.
He blinked forward again. The X marks Torrent. There's the heat-seeking missiles barely surviving again. Moo pops up the battery assault. The cogs not connecting on Soxa. Everyone getting low from both sides. Justin on the hunt for this kill. Cannot get it. Weeha's able to blink out in time.
It's not terrible for Cole. I mean, Justin's continuing to get items at least. He's got a Yasha now picked up. He still does have to be worried about getting one shot, but the Raindrop and all of the armor that he has means that most of his damage weaknesses are pretty much gone for now. Just Swindles has to get to this area. Like his death there, I don't think was bad by any means, but he definitely needs to be very careful in how this engagements go. Because Weehaw can instantly just kill him now, as soon as his Raindrops are gone.
Yeah. Swindles is the probably squishiest here on this game currently. He'll die very quickly.
Slowest, lowest HP, very easy to burst.
Yeah, poor CM, man. She dies.
The bracer was a good pickup here by Swindles. I think he has to keep getting Raindrops though for a while. Maybe even go. I mean, he could also pick up a cloak. Just go Glimmer Cape, for example. Maybe a wand would be great also. I'd like maybe a wand Raindrop, because he has to make sure he doesn't get killed. Because every time that Swindles jumps, or that Weehaw jumps in and kills him, or Resolution comes in and kills him without him even reacting, changes the whole fight. So he's either forced in these super defensive positions, or his opponents are using him as a Midas.
Resolution continues to grow and grow. Weehaw actually not getting caught by the X marks. Freak down in the right area. There's the Stormhammer. Justin is in a lot of trouble. Might be able to stay alive with the mech for a moment longer. Requiem, will it get off in time? It will. Resolution only has to hit him once, but he gets frostbitten. Can they bring him down? He's going to work on Swindles. He's isolated. Here comes Weehaw. Justin somehow still alive. Will finally go down to the toss. Resolution going back in. Can they bring down Z-Freak as well? They're all not focusing the same target. 3 down. Complexity are about to lose 4. And Tinker, the only survivor there. They just are too tanky on DC's side. Resolution stayed alive forever.
That was just, yeah, really bad target acquisition. Justin comes from the side, gets focused almost entirely down. I can't believe he stayed alive that long. And that's the only reason that fight even looked close to fair. It should have just been Complexity getting completely stomped. And that's ultimately what happened, but it went almost better.
Almost good. And this was before Resolution, by the way, had his BKB. It's flying out now. I don't know how they deal with this guy. They don't have good right click because Shadow Fiend only has a Yasha, really. He's not really getting that much right click, and he's almost never at 36 souls, I feel like.
I mean, the SNY is kind of a solution in some ways. It's like an Eye of Scotty, really. Although the item has been nerfed in terms of ranged usage. Let me check the main levels. Yeah, the slow is actually pretty bad now. It's a 30% chance at a 13% slow as a ranged hero now.
Yeah.
And that's just like, it can help kite the Sven, not nearly what it used to be able to. But yeah, you're right, they're definitely lacking physical damage. They needed some of these fights to go well. Like, that's the benefit of grabbing Kunkka and Clockwork and Crystal Maiden. That pre-BKB, you have some of the best heroes on the map with very low cooldown abilities that can constantly engage and fight. But DC's been doing a good job of not dying.
Yeah, they've not been getting caught out of position, and if they have, they've been really coming to the rescue or the aid of whatever hero is in trouble. And Resolution now, he's not only has his newly minted BKB, he also has 1,000 gold in the bank, so there are some other items, interestingly enough, that are coming out. They have the Aether Lens for the Tinker, as well as the Tiny with the Shadow Blade, which is very interesting.
Yeah, just gives him another option to initiate. That way he can blink, combo somebody, or he can just walk around looking for a kill with Shadow Blade and then combo and blink out. Both options really good. He can also scale into should be a just.
Wow, they dove that hard, and it's going to be a successful one at that. It looks like maybe not. He actually gets away with the mech coming through. Now the hookshot connection. That'll be onto Moon. Be able to timber chain out. Chakram will go through next. There's the March of the Machines. Ghost ship coming in. Moonmeander should almost certainly die here, and will. Here comes Resolution. BKB not popped yet. They will bring down Move first and foremost. They did get the kill on the backside of the Shadow Fiend, and now Resolution is looking for more. Fadebolt going in. He's got a Stormhammer in 3. I do not see Swindles getting out from this as the Echo Saber hits and slows him down. He's trying to juke and jive the best that he can, but it's going to be Resolution picking up a dominating spree, and then Weehaw fishing off another hero. It's going to be Z-Freak getting caught out, and he just TP's home.
Yeah, the Tinker did kill Rubik on the way out, but 1 for 4 there, completely worth it. They're just team fighting better right now than Cole is, and it all comes down to heroes like Tiny. Burst damage changes the game in such huge ways. Like, it actually limits what mech does. Spends 2,500 gold almost on an item that gives you armor and 250 HP. It's not super valuable in some ways. But with that said, if he buys BKB instead, then he has to pop BKB to react to the combo things. It's just burst damage, man. It's one of the strongest things in Dota because it's hard to play against and hard to predict.
Yeah, he's clearly struggling against it right now. He's died 5 times. He hasn't had the worst game in the world, but again, we talked about him lacking damage. If he's not dying and he's trying to pump out damage, he just doesn't have the physical damage to deal with Resolution. He doesn't have the magical damage to deal with some of these tankier heroes, especially now with the BKBs being done. And they're just going to have to fight better, I think, for Complexity.
It's going to be a complex issue to get to this place where they can start winning fights. Ideally engage on the heroes that have Blink Daggers, but you initiate on them, bring Dust. Like if Clockwork initiates on Tiny, for example, if you can get him cogged in there, that's a pretty big advantage. But they just need damage, any kind of damage nearby. Tinker's decent because he can TP to any creep wave. That part's pretty good for Cole at least, but I just haven't seen any of these teamfight setups. It's basically Cole sitting around the map trying to farm to wait until Tinker gets items and until Shadow Fiend gets items, but that's not really going to be their win solution. Their win solution is winning fights.
Yeah, this Tinker, he's done a pretty good job in some of the earlier fights, but now he's really just focused on farming. We've gotten to that point where DC are a little too big. They're going to find Swindle, and Resolution will almost certainly get this kill without the need of God Strength. He even blinks in front of Swindles. Justin will walk right into Resolution, realize that he can't man-fight this hero. He's probably going to get Stormhammered. He has a Shadow Blade ready to go for Resolution if need be. Good try at the juke there from Justin. Telekinesis, hook shot to try to save him, but the toss is already there. Resolution will pop the BKB, taking a fair bit of damage here, but will still stay alive. Now the Ghost Ship is coming in. Moo is going to stay up and ready to go. They'll lose Weehaw on the Tiny. Not a bad trade so far. It's 2 for 1. Could be better. Force forward. They're looking for their X marks. Can they find Resolution? It looks like no, they can't. Z-Freak's not in range. It's not quite fast enough.
That wasn't awful for Cole. Once Clockwork got on top of the Sven with Blade Mail, it kind of changed everything. I thought it was just going to be Sven killing everybody. But yeah, just a lot of damage. And now another Shadow Blade, as you saw in that fight. Sven, that's 2 huge heroes that can easily solo kill people. Those are cores, so they're not only going to be able to farm faster than your heroes, they're also going to be able to constantly look for ganks, which means, again, playing heroes like Crystal Maiden is a really limiting thing. Or playing Kunkka is limiting, or even Tinker. You don't feel comfortable farming places now, and it's going to cost even more resources for the supports to cover those areas. Like,
wait, what?
Is that an actual? I mean, honestly, if that's a real GG, I wouldn't even be too surprised.
Really?
It's a really difficult game.
They might have like not enough time. All right. Well, Zach's gonna talk to him about it in here for a second. Just
Look,
get his
if
input.
you're playing Crystal Maiden in this game, sometimes you want to give up in games like these. When
Yeah,
you're against when you're against a tiny man,
Wow.
this shit's hard.
I hope they're doing all right, but that, I mean, I understand. Mystery's like, listen, you guys have a 1-0 advantage here. You sure about this?
I mean, it's definitely very hard for their cores to win right now. The big solution though is really ganks and Tinker. Once Tinker gets a couple big items and the BKBs go a little bit lower in duration, they could defend for a very long time,
Yeah, I think
especially
so.
with Raze's high ground, Rocket high ground. They've got Crystal Nova, they've got Torrents. They have great ways to stop creep waves from going high ground, but in their engagements right now, it's really rough, that's for sure.
All right, here's the thing. I do know they have a match at 5 Eastern, which is in 2 hours from now. I believe.
Okay.
No, wait. 2 hours from now, roughly. So.
I mean, they got time.
Yeah, they have time. They should have time, but maybe that's a thing that's factoring into Swindle's decision here.
You might be right. Like, he's maybe thinking like, we have a 20% chance to win this game. Let's just GG this game to guarantee we're not going to be late for the other match, and we have breaks, which will allow us to play better in those. Yeah, there's stuff like that I'm sure he's thinking about.
Yeah, they're gonna play. It looks.
Oh,
like.
he was trying to type G, but he actually put 2 is what happened.
Is that what happened, Purge? Are you sure?
Yeah, that's obvious. That's clear. Super obvious.
Well, regardless, it's 24 minutes in, and yes, this game is going to be difficult for Complexity to try to take and win, but there is a definite opportunity for them, as you've already talked about. It'll take a couple of good team fights. In DC, they can easily make mistakes here. Sure, it's not going to be easy for Complexity, but there's a way back into this game, so we'll see.
Yeah, there absolutely is. And if they do get ahead and they get a gem or something like that, they should be able to beat their opponents pretty soundly in team fights, since they were so heavily invested into Shadow Blades. Something really good for them that they can maybe exploit. I'm really worried about Swindles though. You really got to get some tankiness items, and the problem with CM is that her build doesn't really allow for a lot of basic stat items, unfortunately. And I think her death here is going to really make that even worse.
Oh man.
Did you see
Can't
how
feel
like
good about that?
Did you see how Weehaw just like stood there visible? Like, I wonder if he just wanted Swindles. He's like, this is how I'm gonna bait him, guys. I'll like let him know that I'm here, and then we'll kill him after like a second. Just when he feels the terror, you know?
That seems like something that could happen. Justin's running very low on mana.
came
The
in
Mana
back
Leak
now.
actually just doing so much work. They might go for this. Weehaw has found the Kunkka. Z-Freak will die next. Here comes Resolution. The break is up. He's got the Silver Edge going to work. They're going to try to TP out. No such luck. 3 dead. They're about to lose 4 as moves under the tower. BKB going to work from Resolution. Now finally off, but
My God.
it's too little too late at this point. They even steal hook shot for the Rubik, which is pretty absurd. They will not get that 5th hero. Again, the Tinker doing his damnedest to keep this game even, but...
Dude, Sven was attacking Clock through Blade Mail there, but because he had Warcry on, he had like 40 armor, so he's actually doing almost no damage to himself. It was just, all their solutions look so bad right now. It's pretty much just Tinker and hoping that you stay alive, whoever gets initiated on long enough for the BKBs to run out, so that your disables can actually do something.
That was a rough fight, in all honesty. Again, the game's not over yet, but it's another nail in the coffin here. 15,000 net worth. If the Tinker had died there, I'd say that almost might be a GG scenario, but the Tinker stays alive, and as long as he's alive, he can be around the map, pushing up the lanes, and just being a nuisance. So they can't take tier 2s, they can't take high ground, they can't take objectives. At least not easily.
I really feel like Cole missed a huge window in the laning stage. Obviously, they did a pretty good job zoning out Moo, but I feel like Crystal Maiden plus Kunkka could have maybe wrapped together and gone places in ganks and setups. Like, Weehaw was even behind, but I didn't really feel like he got ganked a lot. He got pressured like the one time, but I just feel like the early game was so mediocre. It went well for Cole based on the laning, kind of, but they just didn't continue to get kills like they needed to.
You're right. I feel like the Clockwork pick for me, and I don't know how you feel about this, he just didn't provide as much. I don't know if you already talked about this or not.
I mean, they already picked Clock by the time that, I believe, Coddle was on DC's lineup, and then they responded with the Rubik, obviously. At that point, you're kind of committed to being like, okay, this is an awful Clock game now.
Right.
But it did give Shadow Fiend Aura souls. That was cool.
Yeah, that was nifty, but Justin just couldn't do enough with it. And now at this point, he's dead for 42 seconds. He just got ganked by the Tiny. They will find the canceled Tinker, but he's able to actually get forced away by his team. Still, though, in trouble. Clockwork as well as Z-Freak getting destroyed. Weehaw gets the toss-off. Moo will be next. 3 dead. They're diving to tier 3s. They're diving to tier 4s. They're essentially in the well at this point. Swindles is going to try to drop the freezing field and then die a miserable death, and Cancel will be the 5th and final death on this team. It might not even go down. Well, with the Mana Leak, he certainly will. It's going to be a double kill for Moon Meander. All 5 dead, and that will assuredly be GG.
Yeah, I mean, there was a small chance that they could turn that around. I was being pretty generous with my 20%, but DC just rolls over this game. Once I saw that tiny pick, I'm just looking at CM, and I'm like, there's like a... Unless CM does really good early, there's a huge window for Tiny to get back in the game with a Blink Dagger. And that's pretty clearly what happened. DC played a lot better this game. Thought their laning was solid, their rotations were really great, and I think their cores did exactly what they needed to do, which is get kills. So pretty easy victory for DC, and we'll see what happens in Game 3.
Yeah, Game 3 is going to be interesting. Complexity looked very good in that first game. DC coming back with a pretty good draft in game number 2. With that, we will take a quick break, jump into our last game of the day for Elimination Mode. It's DC versus Complexity, Game 3 right around the corner. Stick around, guys.